Well, hello, Dragon family. Araya Onra coming to you live here today. And I apologize, it's been a couple weeks. I've had some family stuff going on, so excuse my absence between that and the final pieces for the book. I just couldn't be present. But I've got a lot of questions that have come in, and we're going to address them all here because they all sort of tie into each other. And so I've put them all in the description so you have an idea going back of what all we talked about. But I want to start with Helen. Helen's one of my new dragons that has woken up recently, partly to that beautiful interview with Julia Balaz that has come out again. And I love when that happens because so many are finding us every time there's a new thing in the feed. It brings a whole bunch more people to awakening and builds our family here. So I'm here to answer those questions. If you're new in the group, send me questions. That's what these people have done, or they put it on the featured post in the group for the Love of Dragons. That's LOVE capitalized for the Love of Dragons, or actually 2 Facebook groups with the same name. I don't know how that happened. But with that big love we have for the dragons, there's a featured post, and that's where I look for people that are just joining. Hopefully they see that and add their questions in there, because then I catch them right away. So her question, she's got a couple that come in play together. And the first is, and she laughed at herself, she said, is it presumptuous of me to feel like I have 3 dragons around me? Is that normal that you can have more than one? And so I want to address this because it's very, very common. And most often they are your guides. Doesn't mean you yourself don't have more than one dragon aspect, because we have our incarnational aspects out there, even though maybe our full soul level self is dragon. That's our main core singular dragon aspect. That is our big overlaying soul monad structure. But you might have multiple dragons that you're remembering that you feel like were you. Those can be incarnational aspects, but as they're around you, working with you, particularly in the beginning of your awakening to them, it's very common to have several. I had a session, one dragon reading one time with a guy, and he had 12 around him. It was the biggest posse I'd ever seen. I'm going to call them a posse. They were there, and all 12 had different roles of remembrance and awakening and activations and things with him. And so it's not unexpected, it's not unusual to have them around. And a lot of times what they do is sort of tag team, where one will be in the like flanks waiting until the one that's working directly with you has finished up some pieces, and then they're sort of in line to come in succession for the work that you're unfolding and awakening into. But it can play out in so many different ways. Each of our paths forward is very unique and needs to be individualized. And so our higher self and our guides are setting that up for exactly what you need. So with that, her other question was, can we as dragons actually communicate with each other in the higher levels? And that too is one of these things that when you really look at what that means, what that's entailing, of course we can. Of course we are. A lot of times that's how we wake up on the lower plane, is because in our dream state or in our higher meditation states, we are actually in touch and in connection with those dragon beings as our guides, as ourself, and that information is trying to percolate through. So we're doing lots of work in these higher realms. I know that even after your awakening, when you're really aware of who you are, there are times when I know in my sleep state, I wake up and it was a very busy night, and I can go back and reconnect to pieces, or have other people mention things to me and realize that, yep, I was working with so-and-so. There's so many pieces to this ascension process going on. And as part of the teams of light, yes, we are incarnate down in here, but that doesn't mean that we're not also part of the teams of light in the higher realms, where we have these other aspects. And so knowing that, hey, they don't have to sleep. They don't have this human body that needs to be recharged, that is unconscious or disconnected from all that awareness. We're working towards reconnecting with that. That's what our whole ascension process is about. But until we do that, yes, we are actually connecting in the higher realms, and we can do that intentionally as well in our meditations. I do with my dragon hearts most often, but I have done with most of my quantum flight groups, activations or things that are global pieces that have to come into place, where we are actually doing all the work, both in connection here, a lot of times via Zoom, but more importantly on the energetic planes, where we go in with an intention, we meet in those higher etheric planes, and we get the work done in place there that then we can merge in and have it connect in here in the earth plane. That's a lot of what the light teams are doing. So great questions there. She also had asked about the aspect of ourselves. Actually, no, this was Aurora, or Aurea, sorry. Aurea had asked, in this awakening process, as we connect with these dragons or ourselves, I have talked multiple times, and there's, if you do a search on spine or back pain or wing plates or awakening of the dragon on the YouTube channel in the dragons playlist, I've talked multiple times about how often we will have energetic pain in our hips, our sciatica, particularly in the middle of the back where the wings would attach. It's right through the middle of that thoracic spine, where those are challenged areas for us, and we can be months in pain. I've worked, and that was early on in my journey when I started awakening dragons or having them show up in energetic sessions with people. They really took me by surprise. I wasn't aware of them at that point. That began my journey with them. They started showing up in people's energy fields where they would be suffering from hip or back pain, and there would be these wings stuck trying to stretch out, or a lower leg or a tail stuck through the hip joints. And so what I hadn't addressed on that, I don't think, is yes, that's common. Yes, that happens. Yes, you can relieve it. One of her questions was, how can I be in ease and flow with that and manage it in my life? Well, you need to, one, just recognize it, because as soon as you recognize the energy and allow it to expand freely, it will be able to expand, and that will lessen and loosen that spinal constriction, because that's really what it is. It's a spinal constriction energetically of a big energy body trying to come in through your DNA templates, through the spine. It's your dragon DNA waking up, and it's got this energy body that wants to expand. So that's why it's happening. How do we ease that? It's about finding flow in that. I know I've told the story before where I actually woke myself up one night because as a water dragon, my spine wanted to undulate this way. And typically as humans, we only have spinal movement this way and not a ton of this unless we're in the water. And I woke up because my body was actively in that, and I could feel my dragon working to get more flexibility in my spine. So actively doing, whether it's yoga positioning or just getting on all four hands and knees and moving the spine, allowing it to flex and flow, what it would feel like as dragon to do that. Getting in the water particularly allows a lot more freedom of movement because we're buoyant. We're not weighed down by density and gravity, which allows that flow to really move. So those are ways to manage it within our field. And the more you work with the dragons, the more you work with your dragon guides, activate and awaken to yourself, that will move into an ease and a flow that doesn't constrict anymore and create pain. And even in just seeing it and moving it out, allowing it to be spoken to the person. And this is way back in like 2005, I think, when I was doing my energy work. That's when they started coming, before the first book was written in 2007. So even the intention or the recognition, the acknowledgement of that energy goes so far in allowing the body to receive it and not push against it, not reject it, not resist it, not constrain against it, to just allow it to be there. And that is probably one of the greatest steps you can do to move into that. But, you know, that's why it's happening. It's genetic coding connected to your full dragon aspect that is trying to expand itself into your awareness in this field to lead you towards your ascension process. So loved that question. And I had another gal write in that Faye, I made a comment on one of the weekly videos, that she was working with a young man who in his field had both a black dragon and this beautiful white mother of pearl dragon. And she did state a few things wrong. She had said that she felt from the book that Ishtar was associated with this. Ishtar is actually associated with the earth dragon. The white dragon is solely Melchizedek, and Melchizedek is solely the white dragon. And Melchizedek and the white dragon are one and the same being. They can shapeshift back and forth, and they will present in the form that is most readily accepted by the person they're coming into contact with. If you're open to dragons, Melchizedek will show you and be the full white dragon. Same with Michael and the black dragon. It took me years of actually working with and knowing both aspects to realize they were one and the same being in that higher merged state. So I thought that very interesting. But yes, this so the mother of pearl dragon, there's two aspects here to look at, because I'm not sure if you're seeing actually pearl or pearlescent as in opal, because there are both. There is a mother of pearl dragon. There is also an opal dragon. The white fire opal and the black fire opal are higher octaves of the black and the white dragon in that lineage. And they are further in the deep earth dragon realms that are protecting the core of Gaia, the crystalline core. The deep earth dragons are the ones the closest frequency to that and are the guardians of that. So the mother of pearl dragon is within that field, as is the opal dragon. So you'd have to tune in and really feel which is it, and allow that being to speak to you and show you more about themselves. So yes, I do recognize them. I have worked with them, but some of these are meant to be your own discoveries. And even that, Faye was able to recognize, like, it's not straight white dragon. There's this pearlescent aspect to it. So now hone in, go in closer and ask, inquire, show me, are you mother of pearl? Are you actually an opal? Because they're different. They form in different ways, right? So loved all those questions. And on this whole aspect of our dragon awakening and our ascension path, I have a little reward sort of for you guys that are watching this all the way through. I see a few of you on. Hi, Katara. Hi, Pam. Kinuani was there. Anyway, the soft launch of the book is happening today. The site is up and ready. I have posted the link in the description, or you can type, I'd be curious if you type in theascensionprotocol.com. It takes you to the page that is now there to see the cover of the book. It's so beautiful. And go ahead and pre-order. They are all pre-orders at this point, because I'm waiting for the print draft to come from the public or from the print house, so that I can say, yep, this looks perfect. I've already approved the internal files. Now I'm getting one actually hard copied, printed in front of me, both paperback and hard copy, which I should have next week. And then I can order. So if you're pre-ordering now, you're going to get the benefit of, even though you have to wait a couple weeks to get it because of the print time, ship time, and then shipping it to you, the first 50 orders of both paperback and hardback, so that's 100 books, 50 paperback, 50 hardback, whichever format you prefer, the first 50 orders are going to be autographed and signed to you directly. So just letting that as a little perk. Everybody's on here now, and I've seen a few more people join in. The AscensionProtocol.com is live. You can go and actually purchase. There is both paperback, hardback, and 2 ebook versions, PDF, or the EPUB that would work on your Kindle or whatever book reader you have. So I'm beyond excited about that, as much as it's been a bittersweet submitting of the files was on the lunar eclipse energy, as was a big loss in my family. So it was this bittersweet, very interesting, polarized field of deep, deep grief, massive excitement, a lot going on in my body over the last 2 weeks. So that's why I haven't been here. But it is a very interesting process for me to have this. And my goal was to launch by March 22nd. We are on March 20th, and my web guy let me know. I woke up to it, I guess, already, which for me, it's the equinox. Spring, we're springing forward into the new, and this is the alignment that everything that the book wanted. I've had these notes for 5 years building, and it was in September that the impetus came of like, all right, it's time to start weaving it together. it's time. And it flowed beautifully. And then everything coming together with getting the formatter and the process and the timing for me to see it launch, to have the goal or the desire for it to be by the 22nd, but to have it actually land on the equinox day is, it's a testament to me of what our intention can do, what we allow divine timing to do, because I know that the energy of this wanted to be launched, moving into that spring forward, because that's what the energy of the book is about. It's called Keys, the Ascension Protocol, Keys from the Dragons for Accessing Your Divine Human Blueprint. It's all the keys and codes that have come through in the last 5 years. It's different than the other book. It's not a guidebook per se of how to work with them, but there is a whole section on healing techniques and exercises to move you forward in your ascension process specifically, regardless of what lineage you are from. You don't have to be dragon. The dragons hold the codes, but this is for everybody, and it's super exciting because this is our time, our launch pad forward for this ascension process. We are in full swing, guys. It is there, it is ready, and I'm so excited to have this. It's funny because I don't want to say task off my plate or responsibility off my shoulders, because it was a joy to be doing. It really, the weaving was a pure joy, as was all the session work, all the teaching work, everything where new tidbits got brought through and woven together so that it made sense. It's jam-packed. I will warn you. I had one of my proofreaders say, you might just put a little thing, like a wording note to like stick with it. Some of it's heady. Some of it is really intense information, which is similar to how I teach in my programs. Like sometimes it goes, woo, and you're like, okay, that's got to percolate in my field for a while. Stick with it, because there's magical keys in there that will pop open. Even if you just read it and go, okay, I'm not sure quite what that was, you'll come back to it and you'll circle around and it will be complete and it will be opening up in your body. So yes, it was exciting, but at the same time, it's like, wow. It felt like one of the really big pieces I was here for on the planet at this time. That it's done and it's out, and I'm thrilled beyond belief. So I am going to do some sessions between April 1st and when I go to Japan, May 18th. So those 6 weeks, I'm considering doing a book club with the Ascension Protocol, a 4-week book club. I'll probably announce that officially on Saturday and post something about it. I've still got to work out the details, but considering doing that for 4 weeks before I go off to Japan. And just watch. If you've been waiting for sessions, watch for the calendar to open up. It's not going to be massive because there's a lot still going on, but I will be doing some. So thanks for staying in for the whole live today so that you got that little snippet, because that might make you, I'm going to give you probably 2 days before I post about it, to be one of the first 50 in on your order. So look for that. Follow the link. What I was saying before is if you type in theascensionprotocol.com, I'll be curious if it goes to a weird page that says WSD. That's my website guy. The first time I did it on my iPad, that's what it did. But once I put the link in with the https:/::, it went fine. And now every time it goes there. So if it's not working, use the link in the description. It'll take you right there, and I'm super excited to share that with you guys. All right, have a great, great weekend. Thank you for your patience in both the book and waiting for me to come back live to answer your questions. Send me more. We'll talk to you next time, guys. Bye for now.